You know, sometimes the most profound wisdom about life, about love and loss, it doesn't come from some huge, complicated book. Sometimes it comes from something much smaller, way more personal. And today, we're going to unpack a message from 400 years ago, a tiny 4-line poem that holds an entire universe of meaning.
It all starts with this really haunting request. It feels so intimate, doesn't it? Like you're overhearing something you're not supposed to. But who's talking? And maybe the bigger question is, where is this messenger even going, that they can deliver this kind of news?
And this is where it gets just incredible. This isn't a letter being sent across the country. This is a message, a poem, that's meant to be carried by a soul that has just passed on to another soul who's already in the afterlife. It's a conversation that's literally crossing the ultimate boundary, the one between the living and the dead.
So this kind of poem actually has a specific name in Korean tradition. It's called a mansa. And a mansa is an elegy, right? It's a piece of art that's created not just to say, I'm sad, but to truly honor and mourn the dead in this deeply personal, beautiful way. And this one, well, it tells a heck of a story.
Okay, so let's get our cast of characters straight. The poet, the guy who wrote this, is Myeong-han. He's writing this mansa for his brother-in-law, Park Mi, who has just died. But, and here's the twist, Park Mi isn't the one the message is for. The poet is asking Park Mi, the messenger, to take a message to his sister, who just so happens to be the poet's wife, who had already passed away. It's this heartbreaking story of loss upon loss, but it's also a story of a connection that is just unbelievably strong.
So the poem kicks off by painting this picture of what the poet imagines is going to happen next for his brother-in-law. And it's not a vision of sadness, but of a family reunion. This is our first line, written in Hanja, which are the characters used in classical Korean literature. Let's do what we do best and break this down, character by character, and see what it's really saying.
So check out how the meaning just builds up here. We start with Hyung and Jae, that's older and younger brother. Then we get Song and Soo, together following. Then Bae, to bow or greet. And it wraps up with Bumo, parents. See? Every single character is like a puzzle piece, and they're all coming together to form a full picture.
And when you put it all together, you get this really beautiful, comforting image. The poet is essentially telling the grieving family, don't worry, Park Mi is going to be reunited with his own brother in the afterlife, and together they'll go and greet their parents. It's this beautiful idea that family bonds don't just snap when someone dies.
All right, the second line takes this idea and expands on it, almost posing this quiet little question to the universe.
It's a rhetorical question, right? And it's just filled with so much hope. The poet is suggesting that the afterlife, what he calls the world below, isn't some empty void. No, he believes it's a reflection of our world in the ways that really count, that all the love and the family connections, they're still there. What a profound comfort that is.
And this is where the poem shifts, right here. After offering this sort of universal comfort, the poet gets deeply, deeply personal. He's got a very specific favor he needs to ask of his brother-in-law, who's about to depart.
This third line is it. This is the poet's direct instruction to his messenger. You could say it's the mission statement for the entire poem.
Okay, let's break this one down. We've got gun, which means you, talking to the messenger, then gui, to return or go back. Now this next one is so important. Say, it means in detail. Then bo, to tell or report, and o so shik, which means my news. So he's not just saying, hey, say hi for me. He wants a full, detailed report.
So the translation is incredibly direct and powerful. When you get there, tell her everything about me. The poet is trusting his brother-in-law with this sacred message for his wife. He wants her to know how he's doing, how he's been getting on since she's been gone, but why is he so sure she'll even want to hear it? Well, that brings us to the final, brilliant line.
And boom, this is the heart of the poem. This last line isn't a hope, it's not a wish, it's a statement of absolute, rock-solid certainty.
So here we have Young May, a really respectful term for your sister. He's talking about his wife. Then Bong-gun, which means meets you. And then, the key to the entire poem, this character, Pil. Pil doesn't mean maybe or I hope so. It means surely, certainly, without a single doubt. And what will she surely do? Moon-o, ask about me.
So, do you see it? The entire weight of this poem, all the emotion, hinges on that one single word, surely. It completely transforms the poem from just a sad goodbye into this profound declaration of love.
The poet isn't just hoping his wife remembers him. He's not wondering if she still thinks about him. He knows. This is a confidence that can only come from a truly deep, trusting, and intimate relationship. He has zero doubt in his mind about her enduring love for him.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. He is so secure in their bond that he knows her very first thought when she's finally reunited with her own brother after all this time will be about him, the husband she had to leave behind. That is the real message here. A love so powerful it gives him absolute certainty even across the border of life and death.
So why does a 400-year-old Korean elegy matter to us right here, right now? Because its true subject isn't really death at all. It's about how we live and how we love.
This little poem teaches us that a real connection, it's timeless. It shows us that the deepest intimacy isn't about huge, flashy gestures. It's about the quiet, solid certainty of trust. The poet shows empathy for everyone involved, his grieving family, his lost brother-in-law, and of course, his deeply missed wife. And in the end, it reminds us that when we face loss, the greatest comfort we can find is in the memory of a love that was absolutely certain and absolutely true.
And that kind of leaves us with a question for ourselves, doesn't it? The poet was so confident in the story his love told. He knew exactly what his wife would ask. It makes you wonder, what story do our own connections tell? What's the one message, the one question we are absolutely certain our loved ones would ask about us?